Okay, so let's recap of what we've done so far. So first off, we talked about limits at the very beginning. Looked at the graphs of limits, and we looked at graphs of not gra- well, graphs and finding the specific value, like f of 5 or f of 4 or f of -2 or something of that sort. We found a specific value. We looked at the graph and found the limit when it came from left to the right. We talked about the one-side limits. We talked about whether it exists or not, whether the one-side limits equal each other or not. Remember, if they don't equal each other, they don't exist. The whole limit doesn't exist. And then we went and talked about just substituting values in for the x or whatever variables in the problem. We substituted values in there and worked it out and found an answer. Then we talked about the indeterminate forms, 0 over 0, infinity over infinity, anything like that. And meaning if that happens when you substitute the values in, that we had to factor in and get an answer that way, because you always have to have an answer for it. Now the last portion is talking about using tables. Sorry, not graphs, but tables. And let's go to that part's up top here. Evaluating using a table or tables. Sorry, using tables. So multiple tables. So you will always use two tables, in other words. So here, we're going to evaluate this, and we're going to use this function here, and we're going to make a table. We have x here, we have 1 minus cosine x over x squared. And then over here, same thing, x and 1 minus cosine x over x squared. Oops, there we go. All right. And then what we have to figure out is, since we're talking about the two tables, we're talking about going from the left side of the graph, the left side of the function, and the right side of the function. Now here, we're going to do a number line really quick so you can kind of see what's happening. So we know for a fact that the zero is in the middle. So when it comes to this problem here, that means that if we're coming from the left side, we're coming from this side going this way. Going from the right side, we're coming from this side and going that way. So that should make it hopefully a little bit easier to focus on. So here we're going to come from -1 and go towards 0 for the left side. So when it comes to our table, we're going to use numbers like -1 to start with. And then we're going to get smaller and smaller until we get as close to 0 as possible. So we're going to jump straight to this point. We're going to do -0.1, then -0.01, then -0.001, then we have -0.0001. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the calculator, and we're going to find the values of this. So in the calculator here, I'm going to turn this off. So in our calculator, don't worry about this portion. We'll right over that. So we're going to go to y equals. We're going to put in the function. Oh, sorry. 1 minus cosine x over x squared. Okay. So we have the function 1 minus cosine x over x squared. All right, we're going to now go to the table. But first, before we do that, we need to make sure that our independent is on ask. So we're going to do second window. So second window. Take us to this page. And we're going to come down and make sure our independent is on ask. So it has to be right there. That's what we're looking for. So that's on ask. So we turn it over, hit enter, and make sure it's highlighted there. And then we go to second graph, to the table. And we're going to put these numbers in. So like for x, so -1, -0.1, -0.01, -0.001, and then -0.0001. So we get all of those. And at that point, it gave us an error, which shouldn't make it an error. It should be actually like a number there. But it's okay. So we're going to fill this into the table. And we're going to use, for -1, get that 0.4597, that 0.49958. And then we have 0.5, and 0.5, and it should be 0.5 right here also. So that's what it should have been. Okay, so now at this point, we're going to go to the next side, and we're going to talk about this table after we finish this part. So now we're going to this next side when we're talking about the right side. Let's do black. Black. There you go. All right, so we're going to go from the right side now. So that means we're going to start with like the number 1. We're going to go down this way, this direction. So here, we're going to start off with 1 again. And then we're going to keep dropping it again because we're going to try to get closer and closer to 0. So we have 0.1, 0.01, 0.001, then 0.0001. And we're going to see again how this works. The equation's already in your calculator, so all you have to do is come back up here. All you have to do is come back up and actually just put the numbers in and write over top of it. So in other words, go up here and let's type 1. And then 0.1, then 0.01, and then 0.001, then 0.0001. Alright, so just like that, that's what should have happened last time, on the last table. Alright, so here we're going to fill these numbers in. So 0.4597, and 0.49958, and then 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So at this point, what we're really saying is, as x approaches 0 from both sides here, our y value for both of these approach the same number of 0.5. Because here, as you're getting closer and closer to 0, the y values are getting closer and closer to 0.5, or is 0.5. But in actual reality, it's not 0.5 because these numbers are not able to be, they're long numbers, long decimal numbers, so they're not able to actually be put in there. So it just rounds, the calculator just rounds it for you. So here, our answer is 0.5 for this problem. You say 0.5 or 0.5. You go. So that's going to be the answer for this problem because that's what both sides go towards. They both go towards 0.5. Okay, so that's the first one. And then the next video and the last video, I'm going to actually go through the last one, which is a little bit quicker.